Hello students, in last class we had picked a brief glimpse about what we are going to study with respect to this subject operating system in our whole semester. Now let's start today with introduction of operating system. So the first question which comes in our mind, that is, what is actually operating system? Although I hope since you are already in third year, you know very well that what is operating system. Let's start our discussion straight away with what is an operating system. Now, this is one abstract view. So let's first of all take this, that where actually operating system get placed into our system with respect to the component. Then at the lowest level, what we have computer hardware. Then this thing will get managed by our operating system here, and it provides certain interface to what system and application programs which will be governed by user. So you can have multiple users, you can have multiple system and application programs. System and application program interact with operating system to get access of hardware. So the most common definition of operating system becomes that operating system act as an interface between the user and the hardware. That is the most primary definition, that it acts as an interface between user and the hardware. Now, since you can easily identify or you can break that there are two major components. One is above operating system layer, and the one is below operating system layer. So let's go into detail of it. That what is actually operating system. Now, as we have already picked that a program that acts as an intermediary between a user of a computer and the computer hardware is known as operating system. But if we go into our previous thing, it says that there are two perspectives. First perspective is the user perspective. What user sees, what is actual definition according to the user. And the second perspective is with respect to hardware, how hardware sees the operating system. So there are two views, top-down view and bottom-up view. And in both views, definition have slight modification. Generally, the definition which we get, which is intermediary between user and the hardware, this is representing a top-down view or user view. What user want from the operating system? User want direct access of hardware. That is the primary concern of user. So that is the main reason we say that operating system provide an intermediate platform through which any user can interact with the hardware. But is this definition is complete? The answer is, to the best of my knowledge, that is no. Why it is no? Because it only focuses on top-down view. It do not consider the impact of bottom-up view or the view of hardware. How hardware sees the operating system? Hardware sees operating system as a resource manager, that the everything which hardware is having, that will be managed and governed by that particular software which is known as operating system. Operating system is going to pick the hardware, provide it to the specific user or the software. So overall control and organization will be done by the operating system for that hardware. That is our bottom of view. So once I am defining operating system, I should consider the both view. So what will be our definition? Our definition will be that operating system act as an interface between user and hardware, and it also act as a resource manager. Now, resource can be anything. Resource can be a software, resource can be any kind of hardware, whether it is CPU, it is RAM, it is register, it is ROM, it is IO device, everything is resource. So here we have incorporated one thing, that is operating system is an resource allocator. It manages and allocates the resource, and what it do, it controls program. It provides complete control on different programs, that how they can get executed by the user for the user. And the kernel is the core aspect of any operating system, which actually governs all those stuff. So operating system is a combination of two primary things. That is, it acts as an intermediary between a user of a computer and the hardware, and it also acts as a resource manager. Why I am saying manager, not allocator? Because once I use the term manager, it incorporates the controlling also. So it becomes my complete definition that what is an operating system. So I hope that now you got that what is actually operating system. Generally in first year or in 10th, 12th, we used to say that operating system provide platform for the user to access the hardware. Yes, it's quite true with respect to top-down view, but what about bottom-up view? So we have now incorporated or enriched our definition so that it can become more comprehensive. So that is an operating system. Now, if I'll ask you that what is primary goal of operating system? So, what are goals of operating system? As you can see, yes, providing certain accessing of hardware to the user, definitely it's a goal. Next, what can be the goal? Resource allocation is a goal, controlling is a goal. So there are so many goals of operating system which operating system should achieve. So the thing is, what is actually primary goal of operating system? As I have said, what happened? Execute user programs, done, make user system convenient to the use the computer hardware in an efficient manner, control it properly, schedule the all the resources properly. So there are so many goals. So according to what is the primary goal of operating system? So always be careful. The primary goal of operating system should be, why we use operating system? We use operating system so that I can easily access the hardware. So primary goal should be to provide convenience to the user. So always primary goal will be in the perspective of user, irrespective what you are going to do inside, how you are going to manage it, how you are going to schedule the things, although all those are goals. But the primary goal is to provide the better system in an efficient way, and in the easiest way to the user so that user can easily use it. Now, here you can pick that if we talk about in earlier context when there was Windows and Unix, why Windows was very popular? Why not Unix is still yet very popular? However, we already know that Unix is quite better in terms of security and applications with respect to Windows. Now, why is it so? And the answer is simple, that Windows is easy to use. Now the thing is why it is easy to use, because you have from your childhood you are using Windows, so it becomes quite familiar to you. Hence, you use Windows. So what becomes the primary goal? Primary goal becomes that if anything is easy to use, it is quite effective with respect to any operating system. So whenever you want to design any operating system, you need to be careful that it should be quite easy to use. So that is the primary goal of it. So in today's discussion, we had picked that what is operating system and what is goal of operating system. So this is all for today. In the next class, we will start discussing a little bit about that what are different types of systems.